Welcome, everyone, to MAGFest 2023. All right, thank you about that. Some quick housekeeping for this panel. One, I am not supposed to be here by myself. I have a lawyer that frequently instructs me not to say things, so we're gonna have some fun today. Two, I'm also not like anyone super prestigious in this org chart, mostly because everyone that's actually prestigious in this org chart, like our executive director, anyone from our office, they're all super busy working right now. So also our board of directors. This is just me. I am Josiah. I'm also known as Outlaw. I'm one of our volunteer coordinators for MAGFest. And I would like to welcome you guys once again to MAGFest 2023. This is a really awesome year for us because this is our 20th MAGFest event. And also, I believe, our 10th or our 11th event here at this hotel. We've been running since 2002. I believe that was all the way down in Charlottesville, Virginia. We've hopped over a couple of places, but now we are finally here, and we are so excited to see all of you. Just by a quick show of hands, how many of you is this your first year at MAGFest? That's a lot of you. Great. All right, let's give it up. Yeah. All right, by a show of hands, how many of you is this your second year at a MAGFest event? Great, okay, so these guys are the real troopers because they came in 2022 on what was statistically the worst day of the pandemic to come to this event. So those are our real troopers right there who apparently don't care about their lives. Third year. Okay, fourth year. Fifth year. Sixth. You guys are really good at counting. 7. 8. All right, this is where I gotta put my finger down. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14, there's Hachi. Yeah. Mini mags, oh God, we're gonna increase the number if we're including all of our events. I think this is like my eighth year at MAGFest, but it's probably more like my 23rd event. Because, and as I will keep rolling this along, just because I don't want you guys to have to sit for forever while I ramble. First off, welcome, we're so glad to see you. We're here this weekend, which is the days on this slide. And we are going to be here for the next 3.5 days, partying it up, having a blast, and hopefully making the $10 badge price increase worth your money. Woo! What is a MAGFest event? And this is the core of the issue. So MAGFest is two separate things, all right? On the left, you have MAGFest, the event, and on right, you have MAGFest Incorporated, MAGFest, the organization, the company. MAGFest is here. This event is a 4-day, Thursday to Sunday, 24-hour mega party dedicated to video games and music. It is entirely community-driven, so that means that there are no like big corporate sponsors. Intel's not driving this event. GeForce isn't driving this event, or NVIDIA. Like Xbox, Sony, they don't want to touch us. We've asked. No, we haven't. But it is entirely community run, so that means that the things that we produce here are made by fellow gamers, fellow participants, fellow attendees like yourselves. We have so much to do here. If you talk to any MAG veteran, they will tell you that as every year goes on, there are just some things you just give up entirely on having the opportunity to see because you're just so engaged in something else, or you want to check out something new so you have to miss something else. You will at least at one point this weekend find yourself struck between something really cool over in tabletop, or something really cool down in consoles, or maybe a tournament's going on in arcade, or maybe a show that's going on in music. It's going to be all over the place. We have so much music going on this week that we'll go over in more detail when we get towards the end of the presentation. And then we have about 1,200 volunteers who are working tirelessly to make this event go on. So if you see anyone that's wearing one of those, I'm not wearing it like a loser, one of those red staff shirts. My friend over there back by the door is wearing one of them. It's got a big red heart in the chest. I like to tell people that it's a red shirt with a white circle in the middle. You look like a human stop sign. Those are your volunteers. They say staff on the back too if you need to read. That is MAGFest, the event. It is a wild, wild ride, a wild party. I've been here, like I said, 8 years, and every year has been better than the last. And I'm so excited for all of you who this is your first year and this is the first time you get to experience things, because it is, after the pandemic and after our first year back where we were just trying to get our feet underneath ourselves again, I can confidently say this feels like the first year that MAGFest is really back since our 2020 event. Now, what is MAGFest, the company, MAGFest Inc.? MAGFest Inc. is a 6-employee office that runs a nonprofit, which is called MAGFest. We're not very creative with our names, but we're an events company first and foremost. We put on music and gaming themed events all over the country in a variety of locations, in a variety of settings, such as MAGFest here. We have a West Coast event called MAGWest that's about 1/10 the size of this event. We also have a camping themed event that happens, usually happens down in Virginia, but this was our first year in, up in Hartford County in Maryland, called MagStock. How many of you guys have gone to MAGWest or MagStock? I've been to all of them. It is truly just like a great experience. The culture of this event kind of distilled into these two different, very wildly different locations. But that's what we do, is we put on these events for the community. We try to make the world a better place through video games. That is our mission statement. We want to educate the community, educate the world about the artistic significance of video games, the artistic significance of the music that has been created in video games, and that is a big part of our mission and why we're here. The other part of the MAGFest Inc. is we have that office staff. We have 1,200 volunteers, 6 full-time employees, I think it's actually 4 full-time, 2 part-time employees right now. Pandemic has really kind of shuffled that around for us. But we also have a volunteer board of directors who helps kind of like guide and run our vision. But you are not here to learn about that, so we will move along. So, the way we're going to do this is I'm going to go over some rules of MAGFest, okay? These are going to be fun rules, and then we'll go over some boring rules, and then we'll go over some content that you might want to see while you're here. We'll take some questions, we'll call it good, we'll dab it up, and then we'll move out and you can get on with your lives. Everyone sound good with that? Cool. So, rule number 1, we're going to go in order of the letters. Rule number 1, what's the M in MAGFest? Music. Go listen to some gosh dang music. You are basically, I don't think you could get through this event without hearing music, because basically everywhere you go, there will be music. We have our main concert stage over in the Potomac Ballroom. If you just go that way, you will basically get there. We have a chip space, which is just down the hall from main stage, where we will be having chiptune artist performances all event long. We have a jam space where bands and groups will get together. You can go down there if you'd like during some of the free play hours and just jam out, have a ball. We have a jam clinic, which is where people will be, if you're not that good at playing an instrument, but you still want to jam out and learn some stuff, you can go over there and they can help teach you basically how to play whatever instrument you're looking to play. They've got a ton of really, really smart people who are really good music educators. And then we have jam pods, which are just community run, self-organized. We just kind of put tape on the floor and said, play here, don't play anywhere else. So you'll see a lot of DJs, a lot of pop-up stuff. And then my personal favorite, we have our Belvedere lobby bar, the bar that's in the lobby. We do great musical performances out of that. And if this is your first year at a MAGFest, I am so excited for you when you hear one of like the Triforce Quartet or one of the other acoustic string groups playing in the atrium and it just reverberates everywhere. It is a magical, magical feeling. That is rule number 1, go listen to some music. What is the second letter of MAGFest? And games, go play some games. So, games everywhere at MAGFest. I would be shocked if you could get anywhere in this building without having seen a game. Last night, directly outside of this building, we had arcades set up for people that wanted to play some arcade games. It was like a little small event that our team put on. But down in the expo halls, that's where going to be a lot of that is for the electronic gaming. We have our consoles department. It's probably one of the largest free play consoles rooms in the world. We have our arcade room, which is probably one of the largest free play arcade games rooms in the world. We have our LAN tubes, which is all bring your own computer LAN. That's going to be over in the Maryland Ballroom. It says LAN. We have a VR zone directly around the corner from that, or if you haven't gotten your VR fix on, if you've never tried it out, definitely head over there. They've got sessions where you can sign up to play VR, you can do group games, it's awesome. If that's if technology is less your speed and pen and paper is more your speed, we also have our RPG games up top in the National Harbor. We have our collectible card games. We have our regular tabletop games out in the Riverview Ballroom. Games everywhere. There's a lot more I have not mentioned. The third rule of MAGFest, kind of along this lines, what is the fourth letter in MAGFest? F, panels. Go watch the panels. That's the last time I'll do that, I swear. You thought I was going somewhere with that. No, we have a ton of great content that's all over the place. Our panels team works diligently to process thousands and thousands of different panels applications and to work alongside our guests team and our music liaisons and our booking teams to try to get content from some notable members of the community. We have events going on all weekend long. Check out our guidebook. If you haven't used the guidebook app or checked out the web version, it's MAGFest 2023 on guidebook. That's where our schedule is officially. We also have great educational panels going on in the Mages rooms, although I think they might be sharing space, but check out the Mages tract for educational panels run by people who are working in the industry, people who are working in education in those fields. A lot of really cool stuff if you care about kind of like the philosophy and the technical doings of video games. Lots and lots of really great content. I don't think I could pull anything off the top of my head because there's just so much that you can go check out. Rule number 4, all right, and some MAG veterans will know this just by reading the slide. Learn this sound. Okay, so does anyone know the reference? Cool. There was an arcade game at, Hachi, you might remember this better than I would. There was an arcade game at an old MAGFest event back at the Mark Center called X-Men the Arcade Game. It was a 5 or 6 player arcade game. 6-player arcade game. One of those was Colossus. If you know anything about the Mark Center down in Alexandria, it is that it's a relatively small space and it's almost shaped like a donut. MAGFest is not a donut, but it's shaped like one. Basically, people would be playing that game out in the hallway, and anytime Colossus would roar, people would just respond to it, and it would like wave itself around until it came back to the point of origin. It was truly wild. But when you hear that, this is a call and response. One person will go, there you go. That's what that means. Rule number 5 of MAGFest. What is the 6th letter of MAGFest? F. Oh no, wrong one. I clicked twice. Make some friends. Make some friends. I'm up here all by myself. I'm so alone. I need Dak wherever he is. Come save me. Make some friends. Guys, this is truly a magical event. I say magical like I'm a Disney princess, but it's such a great place. People here are so friendly. We're all here because we have a passion for music or video games. You can pick one. You can pick both. But what that means is that wherever you go, if you find something you're interested in, the people around you are also interested in that thing. So feel free to talk to people, to have experiences, to like live life with other people. We've lived so long in this pandemic world. Don't be afraid to like be social again. This is a great training opportunity because I swear people are friendly and that you will not have a bad time if you reach out. That being said, just remember consent's a thing, so don't get too drunk and start grabbing butts. You can grab my butt, just not a lot. Rule number 6 of MAGFest, stay up late, okay? A lot of the real cool stuff is at nighttime because MAGFest is at heart a 24-hour event. Some areas will close down overnight because our volunteer force is also recovering from the pandemic. I think Reg is going to be closing from like 4 to 7 tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. We will also have some other spaces might close down temporarily, but our expo halls have gotten the staff back and they are ready to go 24 hours. So LAN, arcade, consoles should be ready to go whenever you want to play games. The really, really cool stuff happens at night. That's when all of our great shows are. That's when people maybe get a little too tipsy and you start seeing some weird things. Our security team has great stories every year. A personal favorite is I was walking down the hallway to our ops office and I watched someone getting wheeled out by our on-site EMTs in a gurney, waving his arms around going, "Woo, ambulance!" You will see some truly wild stuff, so stay up late and try to make sure that you get a chance to see it. All right. On that note, rule number 7, find the unbelievable stories. This used to be find the weird shit, but I think this is probably a better way of saying it. The unbelievable stories are the things that like you wouldn't experience anywhere else. MAGFest is a place where a lot of really cool stuff can happen, so find those things. There are going to be some really killer acts this year. We have 8-Bit Big Band, run by Grammy award-winning composer Charlie Rosen. And then we also have Button Masher, who is also a Grammy award-winning artist. Also, guys, video games won a Grammy this year. That's really cool. So find those unbelievable stories. Go see those shows that you wouldn't see anywhere else. Go have those experiences you wouldn't have anywhere else. I will make it, this is like your one piece of homework assignment. Just find something that you are willing to gush about, something that happened here to like your friends. Like that would make me so happy if everyone here could do that. So yeah, rule number 7, find those unbelievable stories. Rule number 8, create the content you want to see. We have a set of core values that we communicate to our staff. One of those core values is participation. MAGFest wouldn't be here without our volunteers. We wouldn't be here without our community. Every single piece of content that you see here is driven by a member of the community. There's no like corporate interest behind it. There's no like I don't know, weirdness. It's driven by somebody that's passionate about that field, about that thing, all the way from our music booking teams, all the way down to our zombie LARP over in the Magnolia rooms. It's driven by people that are just really excited to do that thing. And if you are excited to do a thing that isn't here at MAGFest, create that content. Like, there's nothing saying that you can't self-organize a community event while you're here, or if you need space or support to get something off the ground, reach out to us, contact@magfest.org. We're terrible about responding during the event, but sometime in those like sweet months of like August to October, reach out to us and we will do what we can to help get you some space and get you doing things. Great example of this. It's no longer here because it was actually too popular, believe it or not. But does any MAG veterans remember our escape room? Yeah. We had a community organized escape room run by a guy named Roger who was super awesome. But it was so popular that we basically just couldn't do it here anymore. And I think that's really cool that somebody reached out to us and was able to get something off the ground. And then it was so popular that it killed itself. On this note, though, create the content you want to see. A great, easy way to get started on that is to volunteer. I would not be a great volunteer coordinator for MAGFest if I did not entreat you all. Think about volunteering. We are in staffing operations, which is down the opposite hallway, past security, past public safety. You can stop in and just say like, hey, I want to help. What can I do? And my team down there will get you guys signed up for a shift. If you don't want to commit to anything in particular, you say like, hey, I got a couple hours. Can I sit in here and help if something needs help? If somebody needs help, we can get you to do that. We're regularly getting calls in from like our kitchen upstairs where we feed our volunteers, our consoles, tabletop, LAN. They're always needing like people to just pop in for a couple hours, help fill a need. Somebody might have missed a shift because they got sick or they overslept. Dak. But yeah, volunteer. This is like the best and easiest way to get involved. I highly recommend it. I volunteered my first year at a MAGFest event. It's a funny story there. I was a young 18-year-old, baby cheeks still bare, and my beard, not my butt. Butt's pretty hairy, and I had thought that MAGFest was the National Harbor. I thought it was the Inner Harbor in downtown Baltimore. I live about 5 minutes from Baltimore. Not Baltimore, so I didn't have a place to stay. I ended up sleeping in my car. Volunteering has been the way I've been able to come to MAGFest all this time, because you get some really awesome perks. You get t-shirt, you get food, you get, if you kind of like do your first year and get vetted as a good volunteer, you get access to like MAGFest assigned crash space where we'll put you up in a room with some other volunteers. It is a really, really great way to come attend the event. Here he is, man of the hour. Everyone give it up for our communications director, Mr. Dak Word.
Welcome to MAGFest, everyone.
Woo! All right, and it is really conspicuous that you are here for this 10th slide.
Well, I just need to make sure that, well, you know.
Yeah.
You know the rules, right?
Yeah, especially the 10th rule. Daddy Dacky needs
Always
a 10th rule.
need a 10th rule. Give it up for rule number 10! Woo! All right.
We basically went through all the fun stuff, I'm sorry. We talked about my hairy butt for a while.
Cool, yeah, that's good.
But on to the boring stuff real quick before we get back into some more fun stuff. The real rules of MAGFest, you can find them at super.magfest.org/code of conduct. That is the code of conduct. When you signed up for a badge here, all of you guys agreed to this, so you probably want to read it. Just make sure you're not doing any dumb stuff. The gist of it is don't do any dumb stuff. What dumb stuff is open to the interpretation of our security team based on these code of conduct rules. Also, we have COVID policy. A lot of you guys are wearing those masks. I'm glad to see that. You also got your vaccine verified with that little orange wristband.
Hey, give it up for being safe.
Woo!
How about that? Let's go. Woo!
Wear your wristband, wear your mask, wear your badge. Mine's down here. I swear I have it. Those are the 3 things that you need to be a conducive and rule-abiding volunteer at a MAGFest event. So make sure you got them. Yeah, that's a bit more stuff. Some more like general reminders. Just let's be cool to each other reminders. Mosh pit rules. Anyone ever been in a mosh pit before? They happen in concerts, so be aware for them. Yeah, you got your hand. It's staying up there.
Yeah,
you're ready.
Like
Lord, take me. Let's do a mosh right here.
You're like ready
now.
to go. He's ready to start a mosh right here in opening ceremonies. Can we get one going? Just a little. No.
But my friend, what do we do in a mosh pit when someone falls over? You pick them up.
Pick them up.
What do you do when you see somebody who's in trouble here, who might be in distress? See what you can do to help. You know, sometimes someone might not want help, but you know what help means is kind of up to your interpretation. They might not need you to like take them somewhere or to pick them up. They might just need you to like report and say like grab a staffer and say, hey, I saw someone walk down the hall who did not look like they were doing well. Maybe they might have been a little drunk. Maybe they might have been like distressed for some reason. Please make sure that you're reporting things that you find abnormal or that might make you uncomfortable. This goes for yourself. Like if you see something that makes you uncomfortable as an attendee, please make sure you report it because that can help us resolve it for others. Do you have anything funny you want to add to that?
I mean, no, that's pretty good. I think you're doing a great job, Josiah.
Thank you. It's not my job, but I'm doing it. Rule number 2, just respect what other people need to be comfortable. We were talking about this like consent thing with the making friends. Just remember, like, you know, some people might not want to talk to every stranger off the street. So, you know, like Just be like, hey, can we chat for a second? Or, you know, like, give them a high five or something. Maybe that's all they want, and then you walk by. Remember to respect those needs. Like, some people get really physical here at MagFest events. They love to hug strangers. They love to, like, run up and just be really enthusiastic. But some people may not want that. So just remember to communicate, to ask for, like, consent and kind of like that kind of stuff, and also to express that kind of consent. Like, hey, man, not really a hugger today. Stuff like that. Not to say that random people are just going to run up and hug you, but weirder things have happened. And then finally, report any incidents to security. You see something weird, something abnormal, grab a staffer, report it to security. Our security office is in that hallway between the atrium and the convention center. If you just walk down that hall, you will find them. If it's an emergency, a fire, something big, something scary, report it to 911. We have police on site, so dispatch is immediate.
And on everyone's badge, there is the security number. I love how everybody just like looks down immediately. I believe it is 833 FEST SEC, which stands for MagFest Security. You can call or text that at any point. Again, if it is something that is like, you know, dire happening right now, please call 911. But otherwise, you know, that's a great way to contact us, or heading over to security on site.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, just like be good people. Our rules are not that extreme, so just do it, and it's gonna work out fine. Back to some fun stuff. Let's go over the map. It is the map. It's the map. It's the map.
Was anybody here last night and potentially watching like the closed circuit television in the Gaylord rooms? Okay, raise your hand if you happen to maybe watch any very weird things or hear any kind of like weird songs. Yeah, our I guess MagTV operators were testing out the closed circuit television last night, and we definitely had some really dank stuff on there. So I hope you guys all really enjoyed all that, especially the MagWest bumpers and the 20-minute remix of "I'm the Map." If anybody had that, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, you know, if you ever look at the artist tag for that,
yeah.
it's written by some guy named like David Croach. Dad?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
But and that's actually a good reminder. Anybody who's staying in the Gaylord, if you tune into channel 51, all weekend we have MagTV that will be broadcast there. It's going to have a ton of content, information, lots of like little like exclusive things, videos, all kinds of cool stuff. And it's the first year that we've ever been able to do this. So we're really hoping that you guys enjoy that. Again, channel 51, and big shout outs to the MagTV crew for putting all that together.
Yeah.
Give it up!
So much great stuff going on. MagTV was also, we talking about that participation element of MagFest, was also something that one of our volunteers came to us and said, hey, I think we can make this event better by having some dedicated content for streaming. People who can't make it here in person. And we said yes, and we let that person spend a lot of money on really good broadcast gear. And now we're trying out something new. So make sure you check it out and let us know what you think. Give us some feedback so we can work on improving that and making it even better next year. But yeah, let's talk about what's going on here at MagFest.
What is going on here at MagFest?
I don't know. Who is going on here at MagFest? We've got some great content kind of spread out all this hotel. I just want to like go through these rooms real quick and just call out things that you might be interested in. Because like I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to call out every single cool thing going on here at MagFest. And I want to make sure that we touch at least every area once on this opening ceremonies. So starting up on that third floor, if you go up those escalators on this level, up another level, you're going to be in these rooms called the National Harbor Rooms. And that's kind of like a mix of some gaming stuff, mostly our tabletop. Some of those areas are going to include, up here on 3 National Harbor, Pathfinder and DDAL. Does anyone do DDAL, Dungeons Dragons Adventure League? It's basically like pop in, pop out role-playing games.
Yeah, so it's very, very cool.
If you ever want to go and just play a game, sign up for a session, head up there and check it out. We have D&D, and then we also have Pathfinder, does fairly the same thing. In front of that, you see that word simulations. Does anyone know what Sims is? Has anyone been up there before? Yeah. Simulations is our bridge crew simulation. So, you ever watch Star Trek? It's a show from like the 60s. Yeah. It's a small little TV show about a crew in space on epic space opera adventures. We have a team set up there that will be running. Okay, that's fine. We have a team up there that will be running really awesome content. Also, Dax leaving.
Sorry, guys, I gotta go.
Goodbye.
Everybody give it up for Josiah for pulling this all together.
Imagine 5 computers in a circle, and there's 6 people, and each person is at one computer playing a station on a bridge. One person's the engineer, one person's the weapons, one person's navigation. And then one person's the captain, and they're controlling all of this and telling everyone what to do. It is really cool. I highly recommend you check it out if you get a chance. Next to that is our competitive card game. They're doing tons of really cool card games. I can't even comment on some of them. Of course, we're doing like Magic and stuff, but then they're also doing, where is CCG? Tabletop. I'm looking at Guidebook right now, which you should also look at. They're doing Baldur's Gate Commander's Draft. I've never heard of that game before. So take a look at the schedule and see if there's anything that you might be interested in, because I'm sure there's going to be some cool stuff. Is it Magic? Oh, I guess it's Magic then. Shows what I know about video games. The other thing, so if we kind of scroll down a little and come down to this level, this is our convention side. I'd mentioned before that we had a ton of really awesome stuff going on over here. Starting from the top, you guys can see that VR chat portal and VR zone. We have a team that has painstakingly recreated, down to the assets and making copyright-free versions of the carpeting in here. Really, really pedantic, anal retentive stuff. They are down to the minute detail, really cool. They've made a recreation of the Gaylord in VR chat. And around the event, we will have certain portals set up where you can just go talk to people who are hanging out in the VR chat room as if they were here. So it'll be a big TV screen or a projector, and you can just go up, and if you're standing in front of the portal and they're standing in front of the portal, you'll be able to talk to each other. So it's a great way to interact with some people who might not be able to make it here in person. Recommend you check that out. Down that hallway is also our VR zone. All of the VR gaming, all of the headsets are going to be down that hallway. You can sign up for sessions. You can get in line and try to free play some stuff. Check out the content over there. Next to that, inside the Maryland Ballroom is LAN and LAN events. Bring your own PC, tournaments, anything computer gaming is going on in there. I think we also have the LAN theater where some of the more esporty stuff will get commented on and broadcast. Yeah, and then next to that, in a little subsection of Maryland C, is the arena. This is where all of our active panels are going to be. So yoga for gamers. Who likes yoga? Who likes gamers? Who likes yoga and gamers? Woo! It is a packed panel show every year. A lot of really awesome content. Latin dancing for gamers is going to be in there as well. Really recommend you check them out. We also have some extra panels rooms. In this middle section here, you're going to see this word museum. We have a retro computer museum where you can check out and see old computers, like Amigas, Dells, all this really cool stuff. Just walk in and take a look. That team has been working really hard this year. They've had a lot of tough stuff going on, and I really want to call them out as really doing a great job to put together this show that you'll see from them. They also have a retro arcade kind of about a room back where you can see some old arcade cabs that need a little bit more attention, a little bit more love to keep working. But they will also be over there. We also have coming up from the back our jam space. This is where some of those small showcase sets are going to be. This is also going to be where you can go free play. If you know an instrument and you want to go hang out and play, recommend you head over there and take a look. Up a couple of spots. I'm just going to skip panels rooms because you know what's in panels rooms, right? Panels? Good. MAGFest. We have an event called MAGFest, which is all about speedrunning. We are running speedrunning events all event long, and we are fundraising for charity at that same time. So if you want to go watch some speedruns that are ongoing, take a look at the MAGFest track on the schedule and see what's going on, and that's where you will go find that. Out here, you'll see this little pink dot right here. That is inside one of the built-in hotel reg desks. That is called Attendee Services, or the info desk. If you have a question about anything, you don't know where to go, you don't know what to find, head on over there. If you want to charge your cell phone, if you want to ask a question, if you have literally anything. I think this is also where, if you're like a super fan on Facebook or like things like that, they have stickers printed up for people like you who comment on Facebook posts a lot. And that's where you can go get those things. Down the hall from that, you got our concert hall, main concerts. Anything on the music schedule is going to be in there. This little divot over here in the corner called Rock Island, that is where we are selling band merch. If they opt in, we have a team set up that it's just going to be like a retail store. It's going to be basically like a record shop. You can walk in, you can listen, you can buy that band merch, and then you can leave. So it's a little bit easier than like trying to catch a band before or after a show immediately, because you can usually go over and see them. Right outside in the function space hallway is Chip Space. That's where all of our Chip Space shows are going to be. Kind of scrolling over to where we are now in the atrium side on this upper level, we have, obviously we're in panels 1 right now, but if you head back towards the parking garage, you'll see that we have 2 jam clinic spaces. This is where that like learn your instrument stuff's going to be, which is really, really cool. If you are just getting started out as a musician, or if you want to try playing in a bigger band, they have like a community, I don't want to use the word orchestra because it might just be like a community band, but they're putting together a show of community members that is going to be walk up. So if you're interested, if you brought like a clarinet or something else weird, that you have to blow through to get music out of, go check it out. Sorry, they're going to hate me that I said that. Panels help desk. If you have a question about any of our panels, kind of like basically directly back through this back wall, there's another built-in reg desk where you can ask about that, the content that's going on. Across the hall, through the elevators, is our operations hallway. So anything that you might need from us, the event, you'll usually find in that hallway. And that's going to be our security team, where you can report incidents and you can ask questions. Our public safety team, which is a group of roving kind of like medical personnel. We have paid EMTs on site that are here with an ambulance in case we need transport, but we also have a team of volunteers who help handle the minor stuff like, hey, I need some Advil, I have a headache. The way they work is usually by just pointing you at the supplies and then you take them yourself. But if you come down with COVID or you think you might be getting sick, head over there. They have, I believe last I checked, they have like 1,000 tests. So if you start feeling ill for any reason, go over there and ask them for a test. And then down this hallway, in I think it's Azalea 3, we have our quiet room. If you are feeling overwhelmed for some reason, you need to sit down and just chill out for a bit, that's the space to go. They have coloring books, they have places to charge your phone, just some like soothing activities. They keep the lights low and they play some music. Out here is the gazebo, Magnolia rooms. You got Zombie LARP, which is, or Zombie Tag, which is, we got some friends over here who are wearing these red wristbands. Does that mean you've been bitten yet, or? Okay, so if you're wearing it on your wrist, you're a human. And if you get tagged by a zombie, it's rock, paper, scissors. You play a game of rock, paper, scissors, and if you win, you get away from the zombie, and if you lose, you become a zombie, and you gotta wear that wristband on your head. So it's a fun little game that you might see some people like just chasing each other for. It's not a problem if they're wearing red. Same thing goes for staff shirts, honestly. We also have some other LARP events going on in that same space. Down a level, if you go down to like the hotel check-in lobby, you'll see that we have our Belvedere lobby bar. That is the daytime shows in the atrium. You can hear them basically wherever you go if you're out here. But that's where they specifically are if there's something you want to see. We also have a DJ area kind of like at the nightclub that's on the 20th floor. When I first came to MAGFest, somebody told me that there was a nightclub on the 20th floor. And I did not believe them for about 4 years. And then we put a department up there and I was like, I guess there is a nightclub on the 20th floor. So you're gonna head to an elevator down by the lobby to get up there for any of the DJ sets that are happening late at night. Then down on our atrium level, on the ground floor, if you're in the convention side, you'll see that we have consoles, marketplace, arcade and reg, they're kind of like all through there. But we also have this middle section, Expo Hall C, where we've got a couple of cool things I want to call out. The MagFest merch booth is in the back, run by our lovely, lovely partners, Fangamer. who have worked with us to put together all this awesome merch. I actually have, great, I thought someone robbed me for a second. This duffel bag, if you were a super supporter, you basically get this really awesome duffel bag. And I haven't opened it yet. I'm not going to because I feel like I'm going way too slow for this. But there's some cool stuff in here, and much more stuff that you can pick up if you didn't pre-order merch like I did, because I'm better than you. In front of that is our indies section. 2 different areas there. We have MIVs, which, does anyone know what MIVs stands for? This is a big question we always get asked. It stands for the MAGFest Indie Video Game Showcase. Indie video game developers, they put in an application, and if they get approved, they come out and they show off their video game at an event. If you want to check out some cool indie games, that's where you go. Behind them is our indie arcade group, which is just kind of like a little subsect of the MIVs team. They will hate me for saying that because they are really enthusiastic about their independently made video games inside of arcade cabinets. So it's Indie Arcades. It's the name on the tin. And then also in front of that, we have our MagFest charity department. If you've been here on a Sunday at MagFest, you know that in this room, from the hours of like 12 to 3, there is the charity auction, which is a really, really wild event. I recommend you come out and check it out, where we are raising money for Child's Play charity every year. Every year they consistently break their proceeds from the year previous. And it is really exciting. This year they're doing some raffles, and they're selling some custom merch down in Expo C right up the front, directly next to the cosplay help desk. If you are a cosplayer and you need help, if you need to get a prop checked for some reason, that's where you're going to go. Yep, that's it. Autographs in the back of Expo E, kicking merch. Calling out now our makerspace. They are in a weird spot. It's called the Eastern Shore Room. It's basically if you go straight down that way. On the way to the tabletop, you turn to the right, you'll see it. It is a space where we make things. So there's going to be like foam armor making and leather crafting and all this really cool stuff that's going on in there. I recommend you check them out on the schedule. Those things fill up fast because they are like limited sessions. So if you are interested, I would recommend signing up now as opposed to waiting until the last second. Eastern Shore, down on the way to tabletop. Oh, ask them. There are a few places people can sign up. I've seen some groups do things on Eventbrite, which is now giving me angina because apparently there's like a fraudulent badge buying page. But also we have an attractions feature where if you have a badge number, now that you have picked up your badge, you can sign up for some attractions. Ask the areas what their signups are. I don't know off the top of my head. And then finally, if you go outside into that big ballroom on the other side of this thing called Outdoors, you will find Tabletop, which is where our indie tabletop games are. It's where our tournaments for tabletop are. It's where we'll have some tabletop panels. And also, it's going to be where our free play tabletop is. Those guys are out there. They get pretty lonely because it can be pretty hard to get isolated sometimes like that. But they love it out there, is what I'm sure we're telling ourselves to console ourselves. No, they actually do really enjoy the space. It's really beautiful. The Gaylord built that a few years ago, and the natural lighting in there is great for tabletop, which is something that I don't like as an electronic video gamer. So go check that out. That is basically the entire event in a nutshell. There's a lot of like small stuff going on. Check the guidebook. I just wanted to call out all those spaces so that people knew what was going on, and I'm really glad that most of you stuck through that. I am shocked that you were able to put up with that, so much of that. Let's go back to this slideshow. Okay, real talk. We wouldn't be here without your support. Let me F11 this. Oh, no. There we go. MagFest Inc. is a 501c3. We're a nonprofit dedicated to the mission of making the world a better place through video games, educating the community about video games. And we, like I said, we're entirely community driven. There are no corporate interests here. For the longest time, we accepted 0 corporate sponsorships, so no money from anyone. Recently, we have started accepting partnerships, is the way that we say it, which is basically, hey, we want to work with you to make MAGFest a better place, or to put on some cool content for your attendees. If you guys have ever been in the LAN room, you should check it out. They have a partnership with a company called Computer Upgrade King. They provide all of the free play PCs. Like, I believe somewhere on the order of like 50 cases with like 3080s, like really highly spec'd computers. And they provide that to us basically just for letting them put up a booth in there. So when we have partnerships, I want you guys to know that like the vast majority of what we bring in is from badge sales. And when we work with other groups, we're working with them to put on things that are for the benefit of the event. Like everything we make goes back into the event and goes back into making it better. Then we had a pandemic in the year 2020, 3 years ago. And things got really shaky with us for a while. We had to cancel our 2021 event. Our 2022 event had about 40% of our normal attendance. We started burning ourselves dry really quickly. We had a telethon where we basically had like an emergency fundraiser, and we said like, this company is not going to survive. Please help us. And you guys, the community, donated $100,000 to help us continue. And I confidently can say we would not be here without that money. This year, we started a program called the Superstars, which was where, you know, we have the regular kick-in merch that you can give us like $35, $75, or $200 for and get merch in response. But we also have the Superstars sponsorship package, which is where you as an attendee can sponsor the event. I think the first level starts with like Discord perks, a ribbon at like $30, and then it goes all the way up. If you see these graffiti banners that are out scattered around the event, those are the Superstars that paid $1,337. A conspicuous number here for sure. But I just want to call out some of those people real quick. On this page here, which is super.magfest.org/superstar donos. I really want to thank these guys up here at the top, which would be John Park, Like and Mike, Matsudano, Penguin, Snoozy, Socks McGawk, War Champ, and Big Nerd Lol Z. Because those guys, they donated like an insane amount of money for what amounts to basically nothing. Like, have you seen those graffiti posters? There's like, it's just dicks and dongs and like, if I had one of those, it would just go straight into the trash. But those guys put out a lot of money because they believe in this mission. They believe in making MAGFest a good place, and I want to thank them. The other names on this page are the people who donated in lesser amounts. I think. No? No? My name's not on this list. Yeah. It might not be up to date. It's sad. But anyway, that might be something, you know, like if you came into an inheritance or something, you know, just think about it. Yeah, thank you guys so much for your support. It is a wild ride to be here. I am a volunteer. I do this because I am passionate about it. And so many other people in our volunteer community do this because they're passionate about it. And we would not be here if it weren't for you guys, the attendees. A lot of the times we joke around about how MAGFest would be a lot better if it were not for the attendees. MAGFest sure would be great if it weren't for all these attendees. But at the end of the day, that is truly a joke. And we do love seeing the joy that you guys manage to derive out of these events, because we derive an equal amount of joy out of putting them on for you. But with that, any questions? That's the end of this presentation. I got about probably like 5 minutes left. I can take a couple of questions if anyone wants to know anything specific. Let's go in the back. Yeah, blue shirt. Is the what? Channel 51, the question was, is MagTV on being live streamed. I believe it's going to be on the main MagFest channel. If you go to super.magfest.org/live, you'll find that there. Goodbye, everyone. It's okay, you can leave. I dismiss you. We'll just say goodbye to anyone who doesn't need any questions. If you have questions, I'll hang out for a bit. Thank you guys for coming out to MagFest.